any of that.
Well, you've got a Chicago accent,
I know,
which I love.
It's very thick.
It really is cool. Well, first of all, welcome to Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPN 2, Sirius XM Channel 80, and the ESPN app. Unsportsmanlike is presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit Progressive.com. I'm Michelle Smallman alongside Victoria Arlen, who's here in studio with us in New York today, and Courtney Cronin, who's joining us from Bristol. And Courtney, I grew up in the Midwest. I went to the University of Illinois. Most of my friends from college are from Chicago, and I love having you on the show and hanging out with you for so many reasons, but one of them is that I love a good Chicago accent. It makes me feel close to my friends. It makes me feel close to home. And you really have a great one. You have a great Chicago accent.
It comes out on certain words. I was doing a read last week, and I said the word Colorado, and it came out Colorado. And there's certain syllables that you put a little emphasis on if you are from the Midwest, and you probably put it on in a way that turns some people off, but I like it. It makes me me. But I got to say, Victoria, you've got the pinstripes on today. You are absolutely rocking mob boss, mob wife, whatever we're calling it.
You're giving Carmella. Carmella at a board meeting.
I kind of am vibing with that, given it's New York, you know what I mean? Even though, like, New Hampshire has no accents. It's one of the states. The New Hampshire. I mean,
it's all East Coast to me.
It's all, yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, thank you. You kind of inspired me with the Mafia. I was like, okay, well,
there we go.
Here we go. Here's my alter ego.
But what version are you ladies going to get of me today? Is it going to be Midwest Michelle or is it going to be Mafia Michelle? Stay tuned to find out.
I think we're going into the Mafia mode.
Well, we are going to talk about some cash, and that's akin to the Mafia, right? We love cash, and we're talking about the biggest story happening yesterday. And no, we're not talking about the Coldplay affair video, which I would love to break down, but let's talk about the biggest news in sports. We know that talks were ongoing. They were at an impasse for a while, but the deal gets done yesterday. TJ Watt and the Pittsburgh Steelers have agreed to a 3-year extension. It makes him the highest non-paid quarterback in NFL history again, because he had accomplished that prior. He is turning 31 this year. He is incredibly productive. He leads the NFL with 73.5 sacks in the past 5 seasons, and he agrees to that 3-year, $120 million extension with you here for a Pittsburgh Steelers team who's seemingly pushing the chips in this offseason, bringing in pieces from the outside like DK Metcalf, like Aaron Rodgers. It only makes sense that TJ Watt, the formidable defensive piece on their team, is locked up for the season.
So I know we've been doing the last year, or what is it, a year ago today sound. We've been playing my horrible take last year about Jayden Daniels that we're just going to forget about. If I could fast forward to, I think you guys said something about this in March, where Evan was toying with the idea that maybe the Steelers would trade TJ Watt. Maybe the San Francisco 49ers would send back Brock Purdy in the process. And I remember thinking at the time, why would the Pittsburgh Steelers ever want to get rid of their star defensive piece, the guy who makes everything go up front, who's had more sacks over the last 5 years than any other player in the NFL? And lo and behold, my take held up. Evans did not. So I just want to put the little crown on myself for that this morning. But I never thought that TJ Watt and the Pittsburgh Steelers, while they weren't happy with each other throughout this entire process, I never thought a deal was not going to get done. They have made every move that's off-season to go all in. Like you mentioned, Michelle, maybe it's Mike Tomlin's last year. Maybe the writing's on the wall that if they don't win this season, there will be some significant changes. But think about everything they've done from the time they trade for DK Metcalf. They sign Aaron Rodgers. They bring in Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith via trade. They now have TJ Watt locked up for another 3 years, $108 million of that $123 total in guarantees. It's what they need to do to be able to achieve what they've not been able to the last couple years, and that's get to the playoffs and actually win. You have a good defense, you have a good offense, all things considered, everything lining up for the Pittsburgh Steelers this offseason. It's like just not the standard operating procedure, the way that they've handled this. So that's why it shows me they've got bigger goals in mind than a first-round exit.
Well, their goal is the fact that they've been 0-5 in the playoffs since 2017. So I think at the end of the day, they need to win a playoff game. That's a victory for them. And so if this is what helps guarantee that, in addition to Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers, if Aaron Rodgers can be the Aaron Rodgers we know, I think that's the main thing, is you're investing in the fact that you haven't won since 2016. That was the last playoff game they won. It was January 15th, right? And so it's like, that's something where you need to essentially have a shakeup, in a sense of like, okay, we're investing in this team, we're investing in our guy, but we need that ROI to come back in twofold, because 0-5 in the playoffs in general is terrible, but let alone when you have these weapons in place.
It's not going to cut it. Yeah,
you're not.
You have no excuse now.
There's no
Victoria,
excuses.
you're right. Like they've done everything to make this work.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't work, then I think you see changes. And Michelle, I think that brings it back to like your original point. Like this is their chance to go all chips to the front of the table. We have done everything we need to do to make this team successful. Now we just have to go prove it on the field.
Well, Courtney, speaking of pushing the chips in, let's hear from Brooke Pryor, our ESPN NFL Nation Pittsburgh Steelers reporter. She joined Amber and Ian to talk about this news yesterday and says that the way the Steelers are going about this, kind of a gamble.
Yes, a lot of these names are ones that we've heard before. Aaron Rodgers, obviously a brand name, top-tier quarterback. Same thing with Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith. But these are all guys that you might say that their prime was in the past. Jalen Ramsey is getting older. Jonnu Smith had a couple really good years last year, obviously his best year. But all of these guys are older, and it's the Steelers kind of taking a gamble and saying, gosh, we're getting a really good deal. We're getting a great bargain for some names and things that people recognize that have been really good. But it kind of remains to be seen if they will continue being unravel. It's definitely a gamble, but it's one that the Steelers felt comfortable taking because, why not? Why not swing for the fences?
Okay, so I'm really upset that Evan Cohen is not here today because he's our resident Maxxinista. Evan Cohen loves shopping at TJ Maxx, so much so that when he was on a vacation in Europe, I sent him something about TJ Maxx and he was like, no lie, I made my wife go in London. He went to London to go to TJ Maxx.
In London.
It's TJ Maxx in the United States. It's TK Maxx.
Oh, is it?
Same logo, just a different letter. It's weird.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yep.
Well, to Brooke's original point, though, about what they're doing with the roster, ladies, TJ Watt is not TJ Maxx. This is clearly not a bargain buy.
$108 million is not a bargain.
Absolutely not. No. But he's earned every ounce of that. Yes. And when you have somebody within your organization that you draft with your first round pick in 2017, and he's this productive and this effective for you, you pay him. When you are in a season that feels like a huge inflection point within your organization, where, as Brooke just outlined, you're bringing in the likes of Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey, and you're doing everything you can to make sure that you're not just having a winning season, you're not just getting to the playoffs, that you're actually contending for championships again. Then you have to make sure that the most important piece on your team is locked up with you, not only for this season, but moving forward. And I am glad that this deal got done when it did, girls, because you need to make sure that heading into training camp, there are no distractions for you. Yes. There's already going to be enough with Aaron Rodgers on your roster. Even if he doesn't say anything, the nature of him going there with that organization at this point in his career, with everything that they need to accomplish, it's going to be a storyline. You're going to have enough happening externally. Why add being at an impasse with contract negotiations with your best player to the list? It feels like beating yourself, and I'm glad that they got it done when they got it done.
Yeah, it's the right play. And I know Brooke's talking about this as a gamble because they are taking some pieces that may or may not be past their prime. I mean, certainly Aaron Rodgers at 41 years old is a gamble, but TJ Watt doesn't fall into that category for me. I know he's 30 years old. He'll be 31 this season, I believe, turns it later in the year. Pass rushers hit their prime 30 and above oftentimes. And this guy has already hit double-digit sack seasons the last couple of years, 11 and a half in 24, 19 in 2023. I mean, of course, multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards. He makes this pass rush go. And when you are in a division like the AFC North, you've got to see Lamar Jackson twice a year. You have to see Joe Burrow twice a year. Obviously, what's going on in Cleveland from a defensive standpoint, in a place where defense has carried them throughout the year, whether the offense has gone up, whether it has gone down. Defense has remained consistent.
Yeah.
You don't take your best player out of the equation and expect that to remain the same. Thus, why it might have taken a little bit, he still ends up getting paid. And the most important figure here, $1 million. $1 million more on this deal on an average annual value, which is $41 million a year for TJ Watt. Myles Garrett set the bar, I guess, at 40. TJ Watt takes it to 41. Cincinnati Bengals, you are on line one. What's going to go on with Trey Hendrickson now?
Jerry Jones also, too.
Yeah,
Micah Parsons.
It's called Show Me the Money, because they're not having the Maxinista deals on those players by any means. But I think also, too, with this signing, it's a situation where this guy has led the NFL in sacks the last 5 seasons. This guy is your guy. You don't have a lot of those guys that are guaranteed on your team right now. We don't know what Metcalf and Rodgers are going to do together as a group, but this guy is almost like a guaranteed, okay, you know he's going to do something impactful. Pay the man, and they did.
They did, certainly did. Again, 3 years, 100.
Của mình, video ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục đi tô màu để gửi tặng đến các bạn, để cho các bạn có những phút giây thư giãn thật là tuyệt vời. Và để làm được video này, để làm được video tô màu thì mình còn cần chuẩn bị những dụng cụ như sau. Đây là những dụng cụ mình chuẩn bị sẵn. Đây là những bản photo mình chuẩn bị để mình tô màu. Đây là điện thoại để mình quay video. Và đây là bút sáp màu. Các bạn theo dõi video của mình thì hãy ấn like và đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình nhé. Cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều.